Welcome to Ciderwoods Field on the campus of Martinsville High School for week number 6 of the Indiana High School football season. Tonight, the Class 4A, 4th-ranked Martinsville Artesians will host the Class 5A, 6th-ranked Whiteland Warriors in a huge mid-state conference battle on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel and IHSAA TV. Good evening, everyone. I'm Eric Meyer, and I'll be filling in tonight for our normal broadcasting team who had previous commitments and couldn't make it for tonight's game. A game that was postponed last night because of the high winds brought into the area by the remnants of Hurricane Helene. Those high winds and heavy rains have moved out, but we still have some rain and wind in the area, and that'll be a big storyline we'll be watching tonight, especially for Martinsville, who likes to go to the air with big pass plays down the field. The Artesians are off to a 5-0 record to start the season for head coach Brian Duggar. The last time Martinsville started 5-0 was 2018. And who broke up their win streak that season in week number 6? These very same Whiteland Warriors. So the Artesians are hoping to reverse that outcome here tonight. And that starts with the leader and QB of the team, A.J. Reynolds. Martinsville dominated Franklin last week 40-7, and Reynolds turned in a dominating individual performance. The senior finished 18-21 passing for 239 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also ran the ball 11 times for 55 yards and 2 more scores. But Reynolds wasn't the only Artesian with a big night against the Grizzly Cubs. No, not only Reynolds, his partner in crime, Hunter Stroud, pulled in 14 catches for 144 yards and a score for head coach Brian Duggar. Reynolds and Stroud have been dual threats for the Artesians this season. Reynolds passing for nearly 1,100 yards and 14 touchdowns in the air, and running for nearly 250 yards and 7 scores on the ground. And Stroud has not only been a threat receiving with 47 catches for 580 yards and 9 touchdowns, but he's also been a threat running after the catch, picking up a great deal of those yards after hauling in passes from Reynolds. And you cannot forget about the other Artesian who stood out this year, and that's the running back Austin Pryor. So far in the season, the senior has been a beast in the backfield, rushing for just under 700 yards and 8 touchdowns. The Artesian offense has been dynamic, to say the least, putting up 44 points a game and nearly 440 yards of total offense on the night. On the other side of the ball, 5A number 6 Whiteland comes in at 3-1 on the season and 2-1 in mid-state conference play. And the Warriors have a star of their own in senior running back Slate Valentine. Valentine had a breakout season last year, running for 1,940 yards and 20 touchdowns, and this year he's picked right up where he left off. So far in 4 games, he's rushed for 683 yards and 4 scores. That's about 170 yards a game. And that's going to be the game plan for Whiteland here tonight. Get him the ball and keep it on the ground. Head coach Darren Fisher is 140-79 as he sees the Artesians take the field. It's his 20th season at Whiteland, and he's run the same fly offense since he started. The Warriors will send a man in fly or jet motion behind the quarterback on every play and use misdirection and sleight of hand to keep the defense off balance. To say they like to run the ball is an understatement as we get ready to go here and the umbrellas come up. Whiteland averages 51 carries a game and 311 yards rushing. They have only thrown 25 passes all year. So the Artesians, they'll have to be locked in on defense to stop the run, but they will also need to be ready for the pass. 5 of the Warriors' 15 completions this year have gone for scores. So as we get ready for the pledge and the national anthem, we will take a break and get to the keys of the game in just a moment.
Couple seconds of players.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
So we are getting ready to start here at a wet and rainy Ciderwitz Field. Keys to victory for Martinsville here tonight. Let's take a look at those. First for the Artesians, read your keys on defense and do your job. Coach Duggar said on Inside Martinsville Football this week that the team has to be gap sound and then gang tackle as well. On offense, they'll look to make some big plays, and as always, they'll want to take care of the football. And for the Whiteland Warriors, they want to win the battle up front. No big plays and no turnovers. As we get set to go here at Ciderwitz Field, the teams will be heading on to the field to see who will be receiving the toss. You see the Warriors captains and the Artesians, Maddox Dilly, A.J. Reynolds, Lucas Dewey, heading out there along with Noah Sumner. So we'll take a look here. We have a little bit of a limited crew here tonight. Our apologies, so you won't see our 4-camera normal setup, but appreciate the kids coming in on a Saturday night to be able to produce this contest. So appreciate their effort coming in and braving the elements. We've got a couple of camera guys up top, Isaac Gillum and Nick Tutterow, so they're kind of out of the weather, so bear with us as we try to do this. Like we said, our normal broadcasting crew of Nate Long and Braxton Dilly, who do a fantastic job. They had other commitments. Braxton had a commitment at Notre Dame. Actually, his whole family had a commitment at Notre Dame. It was a big deal. They were going to go to the game and watch Louisville, but they had to change plans. So Braxton still made the journey up to Notre Dame, and I know he was seeing a good start to that Notre Dame contest as well. Nate Long is trying to further his career as well. He's at UIndy calling the game with the UIndy Greyhounds here tonight. So we are getting set here to kick off. You see the whole field here. We'll get our cameraman to zoom in just a little bit in a moment. Martinsville will be back deep to receive. The Artesians sending back for Martinsville will be Hunter Stroud along with Raven Sanders for the Artesians. Hunter Stroud averaging 20 yards a return, a 57-yard long. He's returned 8 kickoffs. Sanders, 18.5 yards average on a return. He has returned 4. It'll be Ethan Boone for Whiteland to kick it off. And here we go. It looks like it'll be Draven Sanders at about the 7-yard line. Sanders looking for some room and will be taken down there by the Whiteland Warriors. In on the stop, Jake Clemmy looks like the stop for the Whiteland Warriors. Let's go ahead and set the Artesian offense. We will start with the line, the center. 2-year starter, Maddox Dilly. The guards, Hayden Van Devender and Andrew Carter. The tackles, Ty Hornberger and Kyson Bunton in tonight for the injured Gavin Strake. The tight end will be Josh Jones. The receivers, Mason Dotson, Draven Sanders, and Hunter Stroud. the running back, Austin Pryor, and the quarterback, like you saw in the open, will be A.J. Reynolds. And it'll be A.J. Reynolds on the first carry for the Artesians. We will probably see a lot of the ball on the ground. A.J. carries it for 5 yards, a 5-yard pickup. Handoff now to Austin Pryor. Pryor met and brought down after a pickup of about 3 there on the stop. Abe Gonzalez, 12 solos, 14 assists, 26 total tackles on the season for the 5'11", 205-pound junior for the Whiteland Warriors. He has been outstanding thus far on the season for head coach Darren Fisher. The Warriors really stout with a big core of junior linebackers led by number 2 Jordan Palmer. This is his 3rd year starting, meaning yes, he started as a freshman. A handoff goes to Pryor, and Pryor will get another 3 yards. And so right now, Martinsville moving the chains. I talked to head coach Brian Duggar prior to the game. He was up here a couple hours before and said that they may just have to see what the weather dictates on how it changes their game plan, but they want to do what they do, and if that means putting it up in the air, they will definitely do that. But trying to do what Whiteland does, which is run the ball, keep it on the ground. If you can move the chains, that's what the Artesians will do, and they will do it this time. Actually, it is picked off with the RPO that time, and the interception by Caden Blankenship for the Whiteland Warriors in the turnover for the Artesians. Well, just as we started talking about keeping it on the ground, the Whiteland Warriors then get a interception on the season. That's their 4th interception. They only have 7 turnovers. And now we'll get a look at head coach Darren Fisher's fly offense. Handoff in the backfield out of that I formation is Slate Valentine, and he's the guy to watch for the Whiteland Warriors. Valentine has run it on the season, as we talked about in the open, for 683 yards. He picks up 6 there on the carry. That's right at about his average on the season. And watch him, he has run the ball 27 times a game, and so you may see a lot of that. Here's the fly motion again, right out of the eye in the backfield again to Slate Valentine. He is tripped up that time on the outside. Coming up to make the stop, no surprise here, Levi Reuter for the Artesians in 4 games, 15 solos, 14 assists, 3 tackles for loss, and 2 fumble recoveries for the 5'11", 175-pound junior who has been outstanding on the season thus far for head coach Brian Duggar. A pickup of a couple that time for Valentine, and this is right where the Warriors want it, again in that I formation in the backfield. Again, Slate Valentine will find his way forward, and Valentine will pick up 4 on the carry. So 3 carries, 12 yards thus far for Valentine, the senior. Like we talked about in the open, Valentine almost 2,000 yards last season on the ground, nearly 7 yards a carry, 20 touchdowns for head coach Darren Fisher and the Whiteland Warriors. Running that fly offense. Normally you see somebody in motion on every play, but we haven't seen that here tonight. They've gone a little bit more multiple. Here comes the man in motion. You see that little slide of hand there that time by the Artesians. We'll see who the penalty is. It's a false start on Whiteland. Move them back 5 yards, so it'll bring up a 1st and 15 for the Warriors. Let's take a look at that Artesian defense. The front 3, Noah Sumner, Dominic Mercer, a couple of wrestlers, and Mason Kirkhoff. The linebackers, Landon Potteroff, Mason Simzak, Levi Reuter, and Lucas Dewey. Actually, Lucas kind of a safety, that free safety, number 5 spot that you've seen like the likes of Weston Pemberton run in the pass for the Artesians. Grady Gardner and Reese Wolf also in there. And the corners, Adam Branna and Trenton Tolliver. So Valentine will just take it once again. Carry number 4 goes for 4 yards for the Whiteland Warriors. Well, we talked about Jordan Palmer on the defensive side. He's also been a threat on the offensive side as well. Palmer that time picks up 8 on the carry. The 6', 209-pound junior linebacker, 22 carries on the year coming in, 162 yards. That's 7.5 yards a carry and a touchdown as well. 3rd down and about 2. And again, they give it to the big fella, Jordan Palmer. And Palmer finds his way forward for a pickup of about 4 once again. So Palmer, 2 carries, 12 yards on the night. And it'll be a 1st down for the Whiteland Warriors. First and 10 now for the Warriors. In fly motion, they give it to the fly guy. He cuts up, and a nice job by the Artesians. That's what Coach Duggar talked about. You've really got to play your keys. You play the man that you're assigned. Stay to your gap, be gap sound, and then gang tackle. And that time it was Noah Sumner. Sumner comes in. He's had a fantastic season. 14 solos, 9 assists, 23 solo tackles. Was a great wrestler. Will be back for his senior year wrestling. Made it to state last year at 175 pounds and was just fantastic and is carried over here to the football field as well. Whiteland, you see the wet ground there as the quarterback, Oliver Taylor, tried a boot that time, kept it, lost control of the football, and loses about 7 yards. Well, even more than that, 8 yards on the loss by Oliver Taylor, the quarterback, the senior, 2nd year starting for Darren Fisher. This season he'd carried it 19 times for 141 yards, but that one goes backwards. So a big 3rd down here, but probably 4-down territory. The Warriors will pass it in the air and just off the hands of the intended target, Eli Zaire. Out there on coverage was the Artesians' number 9, Grady Gardner. You see right there, Trenton Tolliver also back providing some coverage. Well, Whiteland, they don't throw it very often, as evidenced by that, but they run kind of the same routes. That's a little bit of a corner route there, so you throw it to a spot. Zaire is actually a good pass by Taylor. He was open, but hard here tonight to pull it in with the wet football, wet hands, and the wind. So unsuccessful. I'm surprised here the Warriors are going to try a field goal. It looks like it is blocked by the Artesians, so the field goal attempt was the first try of the season by Whiteland, and it was blocked by the Artesians, so Martinsville will get their 2nd possession. Trenton Tolliver over there talking on the sideline with Anthony Talent, the Artesians' defensive back coach, about some of what they see. And Martinsville will take over now for their 2nd possession of the night. Their first one ended on an interception by A.J. Reynolds. Artesians, that little jet pass will go to Hunter Stroud, and Stroud pulls it in, a pickup for 4 for the Artesians. That goes down as a reception. Those people at home that are used to playing Madden in College Game Day, you know that as that like jet touch pass that you will run right there. So it's the jet pass here. It goes down as a reception, and Stroud has been fantastic at it this season. Handoff to Pryor. Pryor lowers his head and falls forward. The big fella picks up about 3 yards on the carry, his third of the night, averaging 3 yards a pop there for the Artesians. So it'll bring up about a 3rd and 3 for the Artesians. Martinsville started their first possession of the night, and they kept it on the ground. When they got their first down, they went to the air with an RPO, and it was an interception by the Warriors that time, Caden Blankenship. Pryor will jump over top of his would-be tackler, and it looks like he picks up the first down, a gain of 5 for Austin Pryor, who has run the ball extremely well thus far this season. The senior, 116 carries coming in, 692 yards, 6 yards per carry, 138 yards a game, 8 touchdowns, and he has gone for 100-plus yards in every game thus far for the Artesians. 1st and 10. Again, they give it to Austin Pryor. Pryor bullied out of bounds that time by the corner, Jake Clemmy. Now, Clemmy, the leading tackler in the secondary coming in for the Whiteland Warriors. When you look at their tackling stats, it's the linebacking core that normally gets the job done for them. Clayton Ratliff, Brandon Dye, along with Ian Lewis. Jordan Palmer, also the leading tackler on the team, coming in, and no surprise, led the team in tackles last season and is the guy to watch for the Whiteland Warriors. But that junior linebacking core for Whiteland has been fantastic thus far this season. They've also had big plays out of Aiden Schaefer and Abe Gonzalez. So the penalty will give the Artesians a free 5. They'll go quickly trying to get it to Draven Sanders, but it's knocked down there at the line by one of those linebackers we mentioned, Ian Lewis. If you remember last year, the Artesians went to Whiteland. They lost to the Warriors in a contest there, 34-22, and it was a play very similar on one of the first plays of the game that the Warriors picked off and ran in for a touchdown that kind of set the tone for Whiteland to come out with the win. But if you do remember in that contest as well, Martinsville was without their quarterback, A.J. Reynolds. It was the first start ever for Chase Davis, and after he settled down, he was fantastic in the contest. Speaking of fantastic, A.J. Reynolds does a fantastic job to get out of trouble, scramble forward for what will go down on the stat sheet for a 3-yard gain, but more importantly, it'll be an Artesian first down, as Jason Carter echoes as the PA announcer. And Martinsville will keep the chains moving. And that's where you've seen maybe some of the maturity, the growth from A.J. Reynolds, the fact that he's able to be back there under pressure, a year under his belt, not panic, knows he's strong enough, quick enough to get out of those situations, and scrambles to pick up the first down. Again, going that time to Austin Pryor, and Pryor goes forward for a pickup of 2 for the Artesians. They'll bring up a 2nd down and 8. Clock moving quickly here as both teams have basically kept it on the ground. The one pass attempted by the Artesians was picked off by Caden Blankenship. Oliver Taylor had the ball fall off the hands of his intended target, Eli Zaire. 2nd and 8 for the Artesians. The trips to the far side again, it'll just be Austin Pryor, and Pryor keeps it chugging. Does a nice job. Another 6 yards for Pryor. 6 carries, 22 yards on the night for the big senior, 5'10", 200-pounder, who has done a fantastic job picking up where Braden Shrake left off last year. I know that was going to be a question mark for the Artesians coming in. Who would replace the workhorse Braden Shrake? Well, Austin Pryor has done a fantastic job of it thus far this season. 3rd and 2, probably 4-down territory here for the Artesians. Handoff again goes to Austin Pryor right up the middle. Lost the handle on the football, but the officials say he was down. And Austin with a big pickup that time. We get another look at it here. coming from the 47-yard line. So a pickup of 10 for the Artesians. So 1st and 10 for Martinsville. Again, the Artesians milking the clock, play clock down to 10 seconds. They'll get the play again. 2 receivers to the far side of the field. It's basically been ground and pound for both teams. Again, Pryor with it behind the right side of that offensive line. He'll fall forward for 3 more yards. So Pryor, 8 carries, 35 yards thus far on the night, a pickup of 3. And you're in the 4-down territory, so 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 gets you a first down, and Martinsville will be content to do that. But Coach Duggar does like to dial up the pass when he has the opportunity. 2nd and 7, probably not the spot, though, as we get ready to tick down here. 10 seconds on the play clock. Design quarterback draw by A.J. Reynolds, and Reynolds brought down by a host of Warriors tacklers. Will give him a pickup of 3 on the carry, and that will bring a close, it looks like, to the first quarter of play. So that'll do it here from Ciderwitz Field for quarter number 1. And we will go to the quarter break. Martinsville 0, Whiteland 0. You're watching Martinsville Artesian football on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel and IHSAA TV.
At Home Bank, we value our communities. Homegrown. Home style. Home team. Home for the holidays. Your new home. Because at the end of the day, this is your bank. And when a bank really understands your needs, you feel at home.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Back here at Ciderwitz Field, 3rd down, we'll call it 5 for the Artesians as we begin quarter number 2. No score here, handoff Austin Pryor. That's been the game plan and the call throughout most of the contest thus far here today. And Pryor picks up 4 yards. Pryor now 9 carries, 39 yards on the evening for the Artesian senior running back. He is a workhorse to say the least. Came in with 116 carries on the year in 5 games. And Martinsville, 4th and 1, they are going to go for it. So this is the big first opportunity for the Artesians on the night. 4th, and we'll call it 1. Coach Duggar sends in the play he wants, and here we go. It'll just be the design quarterback draw by A.J. Reynolds. I think he got it. The official's going to give it to him on a second effort. So A.J. Reynolds, just a design quarterback run. He's brought down by a host of Whiteland Warriors, but it'll be a pickup of a couple for A.J., and that'll be a first down for the Artesians. Here you get a look at it again. A.J. brought down there by the offensive or defensive lineman, Aiden Schaefer, who's had a fantastic season. And Reynolds picks up 4th carry, 13 yards on the night for A.J. And we're going to have penalty flags. It'll be a false start on the Artesians. The wireless mic not working here tonight. Last game we were here, it worked, but it was like on a delay. So it made it really hard to be able to understand. So tonight, though, it is not working. So we will be set to go. So again, our apologies. Our normal broadcast crew not here tonight. They've got other responsibilities. The RPO, the read option that time actually by A.J. Reynolds, and he'll pick up about 10 on the carry. So Reynolds held it out there. Nate and Braxton, having been part of this offense, would have known exactly what that play was. But to me, that really looked like the true read option that time. AJ saw the end probably come down, elected to pull and keep, and he picks up 10 on the carry. Actually, they'll give him 9, so it'll bring up a second in about 6, and now they'll give it to Austin Pryor, and Pryor bullies his way down for a pickup of about 11. And here we go again. Pryor right there takes the handoff all the way down to the 9-yard line, so give him 12. The chain crew is moving here at a rapid rate, so it was hard for me to get initially the call there, but nice work by Nick Tuttle. There's that jet pass. Hunter Stroud looking for the end zone, caught from behind that time. On the stop for the Whiteland Warriors was Javon Denson Posey, but not before Hunter Stroud able to pick up. We'll give him 8 that time on the pass, so his second catch of the evening. And it'll be 2nd and goal for the Artesians. Give it to Austin Pryor. Pryor lowers his head, and Pryor will be marked down just short of the end zone. So the Warriors front line there, you also see Jordan Palmer in on the stop along with Clayton Ratliff and Abe Gonzalez, Andrew Aiden Schaefer, and also Devon Denson Posey in there. Let's see if the Artesians on 3rd and goal from the 1 can punch it in here. And we've got a penalty flag. It will be motion again on the Artesians. I'm not sure who they're calling it on, but I am noticing that Austin Pryor getting a little bit antsy, going maybe leaving a little bit early. Not sure who they called it on, but nonetheless, that backs Martinsville up, and that's huge. However, it does bring a couple of more plays into play here. And watch the Artesians maybe up there on the left side with Mason Dotson and Hunter Stroud. They'll bring Stroud here. Again, that jet pass. Stroud will be pulled out of bounds. Where do they mark him? At about the 3-yard line, so a pickup of 3 for Stroud. And again, that is a pass. The jet pass for the Artesians, or like we said, the jet touch pass, if you will, the gamers. And it's going to bring up a 4th and goal. Under normal circumstances, well, Coach Duggar would probably go for it. But they do not have the services of their kicker, Charlie Rollins, tonight. He's kind of nursing a little bit of an injury, so hopefully he'll be okay. So you probably won't see the Artesians try to attempt many field goals or even extra point kicks. We'll see what Martinsville does here. And they will get a timeout, as the Artesians have a dummy play call on, basically, and the idea is just to try to draw the defense offside. They knew that they would try to do that, and if they didn't get it done, Coach Duggar would take a timeout and talk things over here for the Artesians. Well, this is where having a broadcast partner like Braxton Dilley would come in handy, or Nate Long, because they would probably know what Coach Duggar is talking about down there and what play maybe they would dial up on a 4th and goal from the 4-yard line. I'm not sure they've been successful on the ground here tonight. Austin Pryor, 11 carries for 52 yards. A.J. Reynolds on the evening as well has 5 carries for 22 yards. So Martinsville has had some success on the ground. They've also run that jet pass like you've seen on several instances, but that's kind of hard to punch in here on this close, confined quarters. So it'll be interesting to see what the Artesians do. I do know they like to sneak Josh Jones from his tight end spot here as well, especially against Whiteland and their defense. So let's see if that's the play call here coming up. 4th and goal for the Artesians. Dotson and Stroud to the far side. Reynolds, he will keep it on the design. And Reynolds goes up and over for the touchdown. A.J. Reynolds calls his own number from 4 yards out, and the senior, as you will see right here, pulls it out of the belly of Austin Pryor. Great blocking downfield, and then A.J., who is extremely athletic, goes up over the top and is able to get the touchdown. That is Reynolds on the year, 8th rushing touchdown. So the touchdown for A.J. Reynolds, and the Artesians, like we said, probably going for 2 here. They're up 6-0. Reynolds rolling out here now, looking. He will throw it, and it goes right through the midst of Josh Jones. Well, where there was the play to Josh Jones, it was just one play late that time. So the incompletion there on the attempt to Josh Jones, but the Artesians able to get the touchdown on the keeper by A.J. Reynolds, and they lead it 6-0.
Well, like, I figured you wouldn't be on me just because I was in the middle of the thing. That's fine.
Here we're going to get another look here at the replay. Oh, that was the incomplete pass. So we're looking for the touchdown. So my apologies. We'll come back and get that here after the kickoff. Like we said, working with a little bit of a new crew here going on. So not our normal setup. So our apologies here. We'll get back and show that in just a moment as Dane Payton will be doing the kickoff duties. A little pooch kick. That is fair caught there. Nicely done by Eli Taylor. And that's where Whiteland will take over. Taylor, the younger brother of the quarterback, Oliver Taylor, play cornerback and also come in and play some receiver for the Whiteland Warriors. So the Artesians lead it 6-0 on the 4-yard keeper by A.J. Reynolds. Touchdown number 8 on the season for the senior. Now the Warriors send their man in motion. They will give the fly sweep. He cuts up and is brought down that time on the carry. And Whiteland has a plethora of guys that run the football. Braden Yates gets the carry that time, and Yates going in, they call fly motion, or what a lot of us around here will know as the jet motion. He picks up 4 on the carry for the Whiteland Warriors. But it's the fly offense. It has been around for a long time, but Coach Fisher has been running it since he's been at Whiteland, and he's averaged 32 points a game using it, and he's at 32 points again this season. And Martinsville doing what they needed to do, which was read their keys, which they read their keys with what the offensive linemen do, how they block, and then they do their job. They're assigned what's your job on this play, and the Artesians are able to limit those runs. A pickup of about 1 right there for the Whiteland Warriors. But Coach Fisher, like we said, he's been doing this now for his 20th season at Whiteland, and they have answers for what you do. A lot of times those things show up in the second half of play. And I think we're going to get movement on the Whiteland Warriors. He had a new guy in fly motion that time. For the Whiteland Warriors, it was Tyree Nolan. And we'll get a false start on Whiteland, so that's big. It'll move them back now 3rd, and we will call it 10 for the Whiteland Warriors. So here comes Whiteland. See if they send the fly guy in the boundary. They do. Back to pass. Taylor lofts it up in the air, and it will be pulled down for the reception. Little conversation going on there. So it is Taylor to Taylor. Oliver Taylor, that time going to Eli Taylor, his brother. And Eli pulls in his reception there, as you'll see him pull it in front of the Artesians' Adam Branham. Taylor with his 4th reception on the season. And now the handoff to Slate Valentine. We had not seen him for a while, but now we do. A 13-yard carry for Valentine. I'm not sure who we have an injury down, it looks like, for the Artesians, so we won't speculate here, and we will stay off of that injury. Hopefully that player is okay for Martinsville. Get a look there at the Artesians. Lucas Dewey. Dewey, fantastic for the Artesians at that safety spot. Really comes up and plays linebacker. 21 solo tackles, 14 assists, 35 total tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss. Has a sack and a fumble recovery this season. And I thought it was an Artesian, and it looks like it was actually a Warrior who will limp off, and that will be Peyton Williams, the tight end for the Whiteland Warriors. Well, Slate Valentine, the big guy, the big offensive guy for the Artesians. You see Martinsville's Maddox Dilly, the offensive lineman who opened up that hole for the A.J. Reynolds touchdown on the last series, on the sideline looking on. And again, it's Jordan Palmer. And Palmer will pick his way forward. A nice job, a pickup of about 7 for Palmer. I'm a little bit surprised here. I have not watched Whiteland games. I will tell you that coming in. But when a guy averages 27 carries a game, you expect to see him touch the ball more than 5 times in the first quarter and a half. But Slate Valentine has not carried the ball as much as what we thought coming in. He is in there now, and we'll see what happens. Second, we'll call it 5. He gets it now in the backfield. Valentine lowers his head and falls forward. In on the tackle that time for the Artesians is Joel Sumner, the younger brother of Noel Sumner, and he's had a fantastic season as well. The sophomore, 6'1", 165 pounds, 8 solo tackles, 5 assists, and 13 total tackles on the season. We'll give Valentine 3 on the carry, so now 6 carries, 32 yards on the evening for the Warriors, who are in 4-down territory. Again, they go right ahead to Slate Valentine, and Valentine rumbles forward, picks up 4 on the carry. It'll be a first down for the Whiteland Warriors. And again, there's a look at Joel Sumner for the Artesians. Also Levi Reuter in there as well. So here come the Warriors, back up in the red zone. 1st and 10 from about the 16-yard line. Fly motion. They give it to the fly guy, and he's wrapped up and dropped for a loss of 2. And the carry that time, Blake Riddle. I'm hoping I have enough spots in my stat sheet to keep up. 6th guy that's carried the football thus far for the Whiteland Warriors. 2nd and 12, a loss of 2. Hand off again to Slate Valentine, and a nice job coming up and making the stop. Who else? Lucas Dewey. Do your job, and Dewey does it there as he cuts down Valentine after a pickup of 1. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 11 now. Clock ticking in a fast-moving first half of play, and that's to the enjoyment of the fan bases here because of the poor weather. Fly motion, they will give it this time, and it's stuffed in the backfield. Landon Podorf right there. And on the carry that time, Elliott Massengale, who just runs into a brick wall. That brick wall, Landon Podorf at 6'2", 200-pound junior. Picks up his 12th solo tackle, and Massengale goes back. Well, one thing that I just noticed as well is that fly motion, Massengale slowed down a little bit right before the snap. So the timing off just a little bit, the wet field, how much traction, maybe your split's not as far because of that, and then you end up getting in the game and you feel maybe you have a little bit more energy and your traction's a little bit better, but the timing off just a little bit with an offense, this fly offense that definitely really relies on timing. And the Artesians watch the Warriors take a timeout here with a big 4th down. 1:37 to go. The Warriors don't like to throw it. They've only thrown it 25 times coming into tonight. They've been fairly good, 15 of 25 for 60% completion, 246 yards, 16 yards a catch, and you're right at about that mark that would get you the first down. The 16 yards are close to the touchdown. Oliver Taylor, the quarterback, has thrown a touchdown on 5 of those 15 completions coming in, and tonight he is 1 of 2 with a 12-yard pickup to his brother Eli Taylor. However, he has also thrown 6 interceptions as well. So he's completed a lot of his passes, just some have gone to the other team. Big 4th down here for the Warriors. Let's see what they elect to do. Taylor rolling out, pressure, gets out of it, delivers, tipped in the air, and broken up by the Artesians. And who else? Lucas Dewey and Landon Podorf, really dual credit that time. Landon Podorf for the pressure, Lucas Dewey for the pass breakup, and a big heads-up play by Lucas, because just knocking that one down gives Martinsville a little bit of a better field position. So let's see what Martinsville elects to do here with 1:30 left, 2 timeouts. In high school, remember, the clock stops on every made first down. But you're happy if you're a Martinsville in these weather conditions going into the locker room up 6-0. You don't want to do something here to give Whiteland any momentum. But let's see how Coach Duggar elects to do it here. Well, it looked like he wanted a shot, and he does. He airs it out, and it's Mason Dotson behind the Warriors' secondary. Pulls it in at the 25-yard line, and that is a 60-yard completion from A.J. Reynolds that time to Mason Dotson. Well, so much for playing it conservative here. Here's A.J. Reynolds. He airs it out, going deep, and Mason Dotson finally brought down at the 25-yard line, and they'll go right back at it. Martinsville dialing it up, and that is Hunter Stroud. Keep him inbounds, a pickup of 8 that time for Hunter Stroud. So the Artesians moving, and Coach Duggar saying, hey, we're going to take a shot, and if we don't get it, that's okay. We're going to try to score here. A little delayed handoff going to Austin Pryor, and Pryor will pick his way forward. Pickup of about 8 on the carry for Austin. 12 carries, 60 yards on the night for Austin now, running behind that big Artesian offensive line like we talked about, anchored by 2-year starter Maddox Dilley, Hayden Van Devender, and Andrew Carter, the guards, Ty Hornberger and Kyson Bunton at tackle. Bunton, 6'4", 255, sophomore in there for the normal starter, Gavin Shrake, and you get a look there at Maddox Dilley, who's been opening up the holes. Hunter Stroud, A.J. Reynolds getting it done. And when Coach Duggar came here 5 years ago, he was known as the offensive guru, the offensive coordinator at Southport, and boy, has he shown it this season for the Artesians. 44 points a game on offense for Martinsville, and check out these numbers. 227 yards a game passing, 211 yards per game rushing, nearly 440 yards per game of total offense, and that includes a running clock in game number 1 against Bedford North Lawrence. So to say Martinsville can score points and move the football, an understatement here, and they are moving it. First and goal from the 10 for the Artesians. Reynolds back to pass, pulls it down, and then we'll find in the back of the end zone, Draven Sanders for the score. Touchdown Artesians. Draven Sanders with the reception for Martinsville. And you'll see Reynolds looks left, gets pressure, flush back to his right, and Sanders comes back and sits right down in between the two Warriors defenders. And the Artesians get the touchdown. Sanders pulls in the reception. That is his 8th reception of the season. The extra point by Dane Payton is good, and Martinsville leads it now 13-0. So Sanders pulls in the reception, 10-yard catch, and Martinsville leads it now 13-0 over the Whiteland Warriors. Well, we talked about the Warriors coming in, the fact that offensively they had scored nearly 33 points a night. Well, on the defensive end, they've given up 24 points a game, and they have allowed teams to complete 53% of their passes, coming in for 691 yards in the 4 games. They've also allowed teams to carry the ball for 587 yards. That's 6 yards a carry. So there's some yards to be gotten out there for the Artesians, and they've been able to do it here tonight. A.J. Reynolds, unofficially 6 of 8 through the air. That's 75%, 93 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Mason Dotson, the big catch, a 60-yard reception on the first play of this drive. Draven Sanders then the 10-yard touchdown. Kickoff that time by Dane Payton, and it's picked up by the Whiteland Warriors. He will claw his way forward to about the 30-yard line for Whiteland. On the return that time for the Warriors was Colton Ship, just a freshman. You're gonna look there on the sideline, the Warriors, just 23 seconds left, so a team that doesn't throw the ball, probably just see them run it here. We will see. Fly motion. Yeah, we hadn't seen him with the ball yet. He gets it, trying to get to the outside, and looks like it was Grady Gardner who reached up the right hand and ripped down the running back that time, Tyree Nolan. Grady, I think you'll see here, Tyree Nolan, and there's Grady Gardner, just gets a bit of the shoulder pad and pulls Nolan down after a pickup of just 2 yards. So that was Tyree Nolan, his 15th carry of the season. It goes for 2 yards, and Grady Gardner making the catch. Now, Grady probably familiar with a lot of these kids. He went to school over at Whiteland for a long time before transferring here to Martinsville his freshman year. So I'm sure he's familiar with some of those kids, probably played against them, and makes a nice stop at that time of Tyree Nolan. Grady, of course, an outstanding basketball player for the Artesians, and he'll be counted on once again this year for Martinsville on the hardwood, but he is a tremendous athlete. Good baseball player as well, but he's kept it to football and basketball here. Handoff to Slate Valentine. Valentine picking his way forward. It'll be a pickup of 10, but that will end the first half of play. So we will go to the locker room here at Siderwitz Field. After 24 minutes of play, Martinsville leads the Whiteland Warriors 13-0. You're watching the MHS Rewind YouTube channel's presentation of Martinsville Artesian football.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance.
We're good at Matt's one-car, two-bedroom apartment with a home office / home gym insurance.
We're good at Nick's SUV and farmhouse with a remodeled kitchen / art gallery insurance.
And we're good at the Wilbur suburban home with the two-car garage / rehearsal space insurance.
Have you seen my hockey socks?
Have you checked your sock drawer?
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Hi, I'm Trip Lukemeyer, Director of the IHSAA Foundation. Each year, over 160,000 student athletes compete in high school athletics within our state, learning the value of hard work, persistence, and integrity. The IHSAA Foundation works to empower and support this next generation of leaders through scholarships, leadership development, and sharing the benefits of education-based athletics. To learn more about our mission and how you can help high school athletics make a difference, visit ihsaafoundation.org.
The benefits of choosing a career in the union construction industry are truly limitless.
Some of the things that I've worked on that I'm extremely proud of are some of the pipe racks that we just built for Eli Lilly.
Yeah, there's a lot of different avenues to grow and to advance in your career.
If you're a senior and college isn't for you, in the trades there's so many opportunities. You get to work with your hands, you get trained for free, and the options are unlimited. You can do so many different things with this career.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Hello, I'm Brian Avery, Director of Champions Together for the Indiana High School Athletics Association. Champions Together is a program that partners the IHSAA and Special Olympics Indiana. It is designed to provide opportunities for students with and without intellectual disabilities to participate together on fields of play and in other activities throughout the year. Unified sports, an important part of Champions Together, allows students who might not otherwise have the opportunity a chance to represent their school in interscholastic sport and compete for an IHSAA state championship. Unified sports currently exist in roughly 1/3 of IHSAA member schools, and that number is growing. For over 10 years, Champions Together and Unified Sports have helped promote relationships between students with and without intellectual disabilities, increase graduation rates and school attendance, and improve the culture within our schools. To learn more about what is happening in the inclusion revolution, visit ihsaa.org.
Welcome back here to Ciderwitz Field. We're at halftime. A little bit of a shorter halftime here today because we don't have the band dance line performing, so we should get going here. You see on the clock in about 10 minutes. Martinsville leading here over the Whiteland Warriors 13-0. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights from the first half of play. And here you will see the Artesians' first touchdown from 4 yards out. A.J. Reynolds up and over. The Artesians out in front of the Whiteland Warriors. And then Reynolds again, this time the dual threat with his arm to Draven Sanders, his first touchdown of the season. And the Artesians lead it here at the half, 13-0 over the Whiteland Warriors. Well, coming in, we thought it would be a contest of where the Warriors would keep it on the ground, and that's exactly what they have done. They've attempted only 2 passes, completed 1 for 12 yards. That was Oliver Taylor to his younger brother, Eli Taylor. Slate Valentine came in as the leading rusher for the Whiteland Warriors, and he is once again here this evening, but the Martinsville Artesians have done a fantastic job. He came in averaging about 170 yards a contest. He has 47 on just 9 carries in that first half of play. Jordan Palmer, who usually gets things done on the defensive side, has carried the ball 3 times for 18 yards. Tyree Nolan has 1 carry for 2 yards. Brandon Yates, 2 carries for 4 yards. And then a couple of guys with negative yardage. Oliver Taylor, 1 carry, -8 yards. And Blake Riddle, 1 carry for -2 yards. Elliott Massengale, 2 carries, no yards on the evening for the Whiteland Warriors, who have had 7 guys carry the football. Let's flip it over to the other side of the field. All season long, Martinsville has been really balanced. Even though Coach Duggar really came from Southport with the moniker of a passing quarterback, he wants to be balanced, and this year they have been. 230 yards a game nearly passing, 210 yards a game rushing, and we're pretty even here this evening in the first half as well. Rushing-wise, Austin Pryor has carried the ball 12 times for 60 yards. The quick math will tell you that's right at 5 yards per carry. And then A.J. Reynolds, 6 carries, 26 yards, including a touchdown. Reynolds also 6 of 8 through the air for 93 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Hunter Stroud, 4 catches for 23 yards. Mason Dotson, the big one on that final series, a 60-yard bomb from Reynolds, who pulls it in. And then Draven Sanders wraps up, like you just saw on the highlights, that series, and the Artesians' second touchdown of the night from 10 yards out with his first touchdown reception of the season. Well, we're about 5 minutes away from starting the second half of play. I asked Coach Staggs if they were going to shorten the halftime. He said yes, but I forgot to ask him if they're going to put that other 3 minutes on when the team comes out. I'm going to guess that they are. So we may be 5 to 8 minutes away from starting this thing, but just keep it tuned here. I know you may be flipping back and forth between the Alabama and Georgia contests going on right now, but keep us up, keep us watching it. The kids coming in on a Saturday night, and normally they aren't doing the games on Saturday. They were scheduled to work Friday, so kudos to those kids coming in here. It's not our full production, but they're doing a nice job running the cameras, tech directing, running the replays, and doing the graphics as well. So we appreciate them coming in, but stay tuned here. The Artesians leading it at half, 13-0 over the Whiteland Warriors. You're watching Martinsville Artesian football on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel and IHSAA TV.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance. We're good at Emma and Jake's just baby-proof their 2-bedroom bungalow to prepare for baby number 1 insurance. We're good at Madeline and Chance's just gave in and became minivan people to make room for baby number 2 insurance. And we're good at Gabby and Nate's just moved to a house with a bigger backyard to welcome fur baby number 3 insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
At Home Bank, we value our communities. Homegrown. Home style. Home team. home for the holidays. Your new home. Because at the end of the day, this is your bank. And when a bank really understands your needs, you feel at home.
Holman, he'll fire his three.
Inspired by touch, by play, by listening and laughter. Inspired by family gatherings and one-on-one conversations. Inspired by long walks, long lives, and lives simply lived well. Inspired by compassion, by healing, by grace and strength. What inspires us at Franciscan Health is you. Franciscan Health, inspiring health.
About 3 to 6 minutes away. I'm going to guess we're about 6 minutes away from starting half number 2 here. So if you're just joining us, Martinsville is out in front of Whiteland 13-0. The Artesians able to get it done here in the first half of play on a couple of touchdowns. And we'll take a look at them right here. The Artesians, well, we won't. This is a run actually by Whiteland, so I think we've got the wrong thing queued up. So we will just go ahead and go back to our normal camera. And now we'll get it ready to go. So now let's go ahead and take a look at it again. Here we go. Touchdown number 1. It's A.J. Reynolds from about 3 yards out. Reynolds around the right side, up and over for the score for the Artesians, his 8th score of the season on the ground. And then the dual threat, like we talked about in the open, goes to the air to Draven Sanders, 10 yards out. And Martinsville's extra point that time by Dane Payton was good. And that's where we are here as the Artesians lead it over Whiteland 13-0 in this Mid-State Conference matchup. We talked about in the open, Martinsville 5-0 to start the season. This is the first time they've been 5-0 since 2018. They tried to go to 6-0, but these very same Whiteland Warriors ended the Artesians' win streak to start the season. So here tonight, Martinsville trying to make sure that that doesn't happen, and they're about 24 minutes away from doing just that. Also maybe getting a little bit of revenge from last year's defeat at the hands of the Warriors, 34-22, albeit a game where Artesian quarterback A.J. Reynolds did not play. So Martinsville leading it 13-0 as we're getting about 4 minutes away, I would say, from the start of the second half of play. The Warriors offensively averaged 311 yards on the ground a contest, and they are far from that here this evening. As a team coming in, they have, I'm going to do some quick math here, 61 yards on the ground. That is it. So Martinsville has done a fantastic job of keeping the Warriors at bay, and it was something that we talked about in the keys. The Artesians coming in, you know, you really got to read your keys on defense, and you have to do your job. And I will say that this Artesian coaching staff, since Coach Duggar has been here, has been fantastic against this Whiteland fly offense. And that is a fly offense that has given teams fits, because it is really hard to be able to adjust to and play against. Now, we'll see what happens here in the locker room when Coach Fisher and his teams go in. They know now what Martinsville did in that first half. Let's see what adjustments they make off of those, what their responses are for some of the things that Martinsville has done. They have answers a lot of times for what other teams do to them defensively, and then you see those a little bit later on in the game. So hopefully the Artesians can continue to keep the Warriors at bay. It's also been interesting, Slate Valentine, the leading rusher coming in for the Warriors, who had carried the ball 27 times a night, only 9 carries for 47 yards, and Valentine also was out for the majority of the second series and would have been in and out of the game since that time as well. So not sure if he maybe tweaked an ankle, has an injury, or just the fact of the way that the game has played out, that he has not seen as many snaps as I would expect him to see coming in. But we shall see here as we get set to start the second half of play here from Ciderwitz Field. The Artesians back in action next week as well on Friday, and our normal broadcasting crew should be back with Braxton Dilley and Nate Long. And those two other commitments since the game was pushed here to a Saturday night. Braxton probably on his way back from Notre Dame after what I'm guessing is a huge win for the Irish. Now, I'm going to check right here before I say something that I'm not exactly sure of, but I'm sure that they were winning when I left, and I'm going to guess that they won the contest to make a happy. They did, but it looked like it was a lot closer than maybe it was early on in the game, so a happy Braxton Dilley. The Dilley whole family was going to head up to Notre Dame to watch the game. Those plans had to change, but Braxton still went, and that left us without a color commentator. And we also lost our play-by-play guy, Nate Long, who's calling the U-Indy Greyhounds contest tonight as well. So you've got me to fill in for this broadcast, so hopefully enjoying what the Artesian students are producing here from the broadcasting program run now by Alex Enoch. Alex doing a great job in her first year at the helm of MHS Rewind, as we like to call it. So a former student, known around the school because she was an assistant cheerleading coach and also worked at Wish TV as well. And so she's brought those talents back to MHS Rewind, doing a great job leading the program as well. So we'll get ready to go here in the second half of play. Martinsville and Whiteland set for half number 2. I was mentioning my son went to Louisville for a couple of years, and we went to the Louisville Notre Dame game last year down at Louisville, and Braxton came with us. My son's been sick. He was going to go with the Dillies if he hadn't have been sick, but as a return favor, but got a text from Braxton that said, yes, big win, and my son responds with Coach Brom, Costville the game. So a happy Braxton Dilley, a sad Cole Meyer at the loss by Louisville. But happy both Cole and Braxton and Artesian Nation as we get set to kick off half number 2 here as the Artesians lead it 13-0. They will kick off, and again, it'll be Dane Payton, the normal Artesian kicker. Charlie Rollins unavailable, but Dane has done a fantastic job as well. And Charlie probably just making sure he can play in his upcoming soccer match. I believe they've got a big one with Perry Meridian, Willie Spina. What a great job him and his crew have done this year for the Artesians on the pitch, as they've just been fantastic. And the Warriors will get it. Jordan Palmer receives it at about the 31-yard line, and that's where Whiteland will start here in the second half of play, down 13-0. So here we go for Whiteland and the Artesians. I'm going to try to keep up with these stats here if I can. It has been tough to say the least. So here come the Warriors. It'll be Oliver Taylor bringing it to the line of scrimmage for Whiteland. I formation in the backfield. Here comes that fly motion. They will give it to Slate Valentine. Valentine is stood up and brought down. And down at the bottom of the pile for the Artesians again is Noah Sumner. And Sumner has been fantastic all year. And again, this game for the Artesians. Sumner, a state qualifier in wrestling, using some of the wrestling skills along with Dominic Mercer in there on the offensive, Artesian defensive line here. 2nd and 8. They give it to the jet, the fly guy, and he's wrapped up momentarily by the Artesians. Gang tackle, do your job, and that results in no gain for Whiteland on the carry that time. And then Lucas Dewey up off the bottom of it on the carry that time was Brandon Yates, and that goes for no yards. So Martinsville's done a great job here tonight. They've had several times where it's been no yards or loss of yards. 4 times where the Warriors have picked up 0 or negative yardage on the night. Taylor again will turn and fire, and this can't be brought in by his brother this time, Eli Taylor. Adam Branham that time does a nice job. That was basically looks like the same play to the opposite side that they completed in the first half. The last time it looked like Branham tried to wait on it and make a play on the ball. This time he basically just made a play on the receiver. And once the ball touched Eli Taylor, Branham lays the hit on him, breaks it up, and the Warriors will have to go 3 and out here on their opening drive of the second half of play. So into punt for the Warriors. Eli is there. And it will take a Warrior bounce, and Martinsville will start their first possession of the second half at the 20-yard line. So Martinsville does their job on the opening drive of the first half. They hold the Warriors to a 3 and out. And let's see what the Artesians elect to do here. It appears as if the wind has died down just a little bit, and that there is not very much, if any, rain here. So the Artesians will come out. Their last drive of that first half of play, they marched right down the field and scored a big 60-yard completion to Mason Dotson, and then able to get a 10-yard touchdown toss to Draven Sanders to end the drive. Reynolds back to pass, a little hitch and go, looking for Hunter Stroud. Stroud has it, and it'll be brought down at the 50-yard line. A 30-yard reception that time from A.J. Reynolds to Hunter Stroud as Stroud pulls in his 5th catch of the night. We'll get another look at it here. That little hitch and go in the seam. Hunter pulls it in and is brought down, but not before the Artesians pick up the first down for the Artesians. 5 catches now for 152 yards coming in on the season. Stroud, awesome. 47 receptions. He'll get another one right here. Makes one man miss. This is where we talked about him being that dual threat as well. Not only catching the ball, but what he does with the yards after catch or the run after catch. And that time, he basically catches the ball right at the line of scrimmage, as you will see here. And then he's able to carry it for 9 more yards and the pickup for the Artesians. Reynolds rolling out here to the left side, sets his feet, going deep, looking for his man, touchdown Artesians! Oh, they'll put him down at the 1-yard line. But again, what a pass and what a catch by Hunter Stroud. And we'll get another look at it here. This has been the Hunter and AJ show coming up. AJ lofts it. Hunter pulls it in. And then the Artesians now will give it to Stroud for the touchdown. So we'll get another look at that just here in just a moment. But a touchdown there by Hunter Stroud. I'm not even sure if that was the jet pass or if it was the handoff. I'm going to guess it was a jet pass, but we will wait and see after we go for the extra point coming up here. We'll take just a second to kind of get everything sorted out here, so just bear with us. The extra point is up. The extra point by Dane Payton is good, and Martinsville, just like that, out in front, 20-0 over the Whiteland Warriors. Let's go ahead and take another look at that touchdown now that we missed and go ahead and play here from the Artesians. You'll get it. It is the jet pass, rightfully so, to Hunter Stroud. Hunter takes it in from 1 yard out. And the Artesians, with the extra point by Dane Payton, lead it now 20-0. So unofficially, we've got A.J. Reynolds, 10 of 12 for 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hunter Stroud has caught 8 of those balls, 111 yards and a touchdown. Draven Sanders with a catch for a touchdown, and Mason Dotson 1 catch for 60 yards. And right now, Martinsville dominating the Whiteland Warriors. Penalty, I didn't see what the penalty was, but some unsportsmanlike, I'm guessing, will move the Artesians back. So this may give Whiteland a little bit of a shot in the arm. And remember, hey, anything can happen. We here at Martinsville know that. Trailing Decatur by 35 points our last time here. The Artesians came all the way back to win it. So they know better than anyone that this thing is far from over. And the Warriors, with a big return this time, will get the ball in Artesian territory just over the 50-yard line. A nice job by Whiteland's Blake Riddle. And the Warriors, as you'll see, the kickoff here by Dane Payton. And Blake Riddle picks it up at about the 21-yard line and returns it 30 yards for the Warriors. So Whiteland with the football. Their second possession of half number 2. They'll give it to Slate Valentine. The Artesians, again, right there to stop him. And that was Landon Pottorff, a pickup of 2 for Valentine. So the Artesians have done a fantastic job of limiting Valentine. 11 carries for 51 yards. He's gotten loose a couple of times for 13 and 10, but man, they have done a great job of keeping him in check here tonight. Second, we will call it about 7. Glad you can tune in and join us here on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. Give a big shout out to our kids coming in here for the production tonight. Though we are running a few cameras less than normal because don't have the crew that we normally would, and we don't have our normal announcers either who had other commitments, but glad that everybody came in here for the production, and hopefully you are enjoying it. If you're an Artesian fan, I'm sure you are, as that pick up that time for the Warriors. The Artesians do a nice job of getting that jet motion over there on the outside for the Artesians. On the tackle, that time was Reese Wolf. Elliott Massengale was a pickup that time. We'll give him 3 yards. So 3 carries, 3 yards for him. Slate Valentine finally finds some running room for the Warriors. And we'll give him a pickup of about 7 there. Again, Reese Wolf in on the stop for the Artesians. Well, Valentine coming in averages about 170 yards a game. Far from that here tonight. 12 carries, 58 yards for the Warriors. But we'll see what happens. And, you know, you're down 3 scores right now. If you're Whiteland, like we said, Martinsville well aware of how you can come back, having that tremendous comeback in the second half against the Whiteland Warriors. Again, they're going to go Eli Taylor, and again, almost broken up, but nice job that time by Taylor to pull it in. And we'll get another look at it here. Oliver Taylor to his brother Eli, and again, Branham almost breaks it up, but it's pulled in for the first down, and it will pick up of about 19. So 2 completions for Oliver Taylor. Both have gone to his brother on the night. So the Warriors right here in business, and it looks like we're going to get a timeout by the Artesians. But like we said, Martinsville making that huge comeback against the Decatur Central Hawks. Last time we were here at Ciderwoods Field, coming back from 35-0, down 38-7 in the second half, and then make that comeback to get the win 39-38. So they are well aware that a team can come back, and really when you think about it here in football, 3 scores is really even less than what you think. If Whiteland comes down, scores, gets a stop, and scores again, I know that's a lot of ifs, but if they do, they're right back in it, and the pressure has squarely flipped to the side of the Artesians. So you want Martinsville to come up here and try to get a big stop defensively and keep Whiteland out of the end zone. If you're head coach Darren Fisher, you're telling your ball club, hey, we score here, no panic, we'll come back out, get a stop on defense, do what we do on offense, and get right back into this one. So this big possession here for both ball clubs, and the Artesians trying to keep the Warriors out of the end zone, the Warriors trying to punch it in and cut into this Artesian lead. They've got a fresh set of downs after the completion from Oliver Taylor to his brother Eli Taylor. So here we go. 1st and 10 from about the 16-yard line. Kind of shift their formation just a little bit. Taylor, a little bit of a toss to Slate Valentine. Valentine picks his way through the Artesian defense, lowers his head, and Valentine strikes Pater from 17 yards out. And the Warriors now have cut it to 20-6. And I think we're going to get another look at it here from Valentine. In from wide, you see Valentine patient, following his blocking, and then lowering his head into the end zone, 20-6 to score. So extra point coming up for Noah Pope, 13 of 16 extra points on the season for the Warriors. This is a big one here. Martinsville, remembered, missed their first 2-point attempt. That one is up and in, and so the score, 20-7. So this is what we talked about a little bit. The fact that now Whiteland is done. Hey, we're down by 3 touchdowns here, but we don't need to panic. We're going to do what we do. We've got plenty of time on the clock. Let's go down and score. Our next part would be get a stop on defense and then get the ball back and do what we do and score again. Martinsville is preaching the same thing. No panic here. Hey, let's get the ball back. We're going to just do what we do, which is move the ball down the field, on the ground or in the air, hopefully score, and we get this one right back. So we'll see what happens here. You see Grady Gardner on the sideline for the Artesians. Hopefully Grady is okay. Coming in, Gardner on the season from his safety spot, 18 solo tackles, 8 assists, 26 total tackles on the season. Josh Jones, the tight end for Martinsville. 8 catches on the season, coming in 47 yards, has not caught one here tonight, but that could change here on this upcoming possession. On that last possession for the Artesians, it was the AJ and Hunter show, as it has been most of the season, and as we highlighted in our game open and opening graphic with our dual threats, if you will. Reynolds on the ground and through the air, and Hunter catching and then running after catch, as we've seen, really got the job done. And let's not forget about Austin Pryor. Austin has been over 100 yards in every game thus far, and we may see his number called here on this drive. He's carried it 12 times for 60 yards thus far on the night. So here we go. Again, the Artesians will come to the line of scrimmage, leading 20-7 after the Warriors score on a 17-yard Slate Valentine run, and it'll go to Hunter Stroud. Again, that jet pass, and Stroud picks up about 7. I may run out of spots here for Hunter, but I left enough on my stat sheet to get him enough catches, if he will. Came into the night with 47 receptions. Had another one there, and yes, that is a pass. It is a forward toss. We said if you're a Madden fan or NCAA football, that is a jet touch pass on the play. That is not a touch run that time by Austin Pryor as he lowers his shoulder into Blake Clemmy and runs over him. A pickup of 7 for Austin Pryor. We'll give him 8. Move the chains really fast, so I'm trying to keep up with the stats. They probably aren't correct, but you can see them on Max Preps after Jason Carter gets a hold of them after the game. RPO that time. Reynolds going for it all, and it's picked off. He was looking for Mason Dotson, and it was Eli Taylor. Eli Taylor with his second interception of the year. Good coverage on Dotson, pulls it in, and the Warriors get what they wanted. They get a stop. And second interception of the night from A.J. Reynolds, and now the Warriors have it right back. Well, we saw Taylor on the receiving end of his brother's passes, a couple of them on that last series, actually one on the last series, and now we see him on the defensive side pull it in, and the Warriors have it right back, although deep in their own territory, trailing 20-7. Keep it on the ground. Slate Valentine slips through. Valentine finds his way forward. Pickup of 10 for Valentine. So a slow start for Valentine, but in his last 2 carries, 27 yards and a touchdown. 14 carries, 85 yards on the night for Valentine. So the Warriors 1st and 10 now. Fortunately for the Artesians, clock moving. They'll shift just a little bit. Split Williams out. Actually, Height out at the tight end spot. They'll just give it to their workhorse, Valentine. And you can see that time, taking his time, finding his hole, picking his way through, pick up a 4 for Valentine. Last year, Valentine, a great junior campaign. 1,940 yards, 20 touchdowns for a Whiteland team that lost to Decatur in the regional championship. The year before, Whiteland fell in the state championship in 5A, 35-31 to Valparaiso. Coach Fisher has always done a great job at Whiteland, but here in the past couple of years, they have been fantastic. Handoff again, Valentine, and he's starting to feel himself a little bit. The senior just gets behind that big offensive line. 9 more for Valentine. And, well, we kind of speculated a little bit. He came in averaging 27 carries a game, had 9 in the first half. Well, he's already got 7 here in the second half and really starting to feel himself in the last 4. 17, 10, 4, and 9 now. Tack on the one before that at 7. He's really done a nice job of moving the chains here for the Warriors in the second half. And they're going to ride him again. Valentine pops to the left side, and he'll fall forward. Pickup of about 4 this time. We'll give him 5. So Valentine now over 100 yards, 17 carries, 103 yards on the night. So here we go. Glad you can join us on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel or IHSAA TV. Big credit to the kids in the broadcasting program, MHS Rewind at Martinsville High School, for coming in on a Saturday and producing this. A little toss to the outside as Jordan Palmer breaks one tackle and is finally ridden down. Landon Pottorff, Noah Sumner there to start, and then he was finished up by Trenton Tolliver. But appears as if a pickup that time of about 7 on the carry for Palmer. Yeah, the chain gang is on it tonight. They are moving as soon as the ball is placed and trying to look out and see where the ball started. And I have to make mental notes where it is when it starts so I can see when it ends and do the quick math on the stats. But again, big congratulations or thank you to our MHS Rewind crew coming in. Not our normal crew and not our normal production, but hopefully you're still enjoying it here on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel and IHSA TV. Taylor rolling out. He's got pressure. And he will go down. So the Artesians drop Taylor for a 6-yard loss. Now let's see who was in on it here. Taylor trying to roll out to his left side. Sumner there right away. Pottorff turns him back in, and then the Artesians looks like Simzak finishes it off, and Taylor will lose 6. So 2 carries, negative 14 yards here tonight for Oliver Taylor. Actually, more than that, they'll give him a loss of 7. So it'll bring up a second, and we will call it 17. They give it on the jet now, and he's tripped up, a pickup of a couple. Blake Riddle again on the carry for the Warriors. He's got 2 carries now for 0 yards. And a big third down here for the Artesians. The clock ticks down to about the minute mark. Can hear the coaches upstairs making sure they're trying to get the Artesians defense attention. 3rd and long here. Fly motion. Again, just the same pass that they've been running all night, and that is overshot. Incomplete. It'll bring up a 4th down for the Warriors. So they don't pass a lot. Coming in, 25 pass attempts, and a lot of the passes are running to a spot. So you just saw Oliver Taylor that time basically drop back and chuck it up in the air, hoping his brother Eli could run under it on a spot. They've run that play, I think, 4 times here tonight. Actually, all 5 passes have basically been that pass pattern. 4 of them have been to Eli Taylor. He's caught a couple. But it's going to be a punt now for the Warriors. Martinsville coming after this one. He's going to have to run it, and that is going nowhere. The Artesians, Noel Sumner in on the stop. We'll get another look at it here in a moment, maybe. So the Artesians will start with excellent field position. They'll give it to Austin Pryor. Pryor met and dropped. And no surprise here, Jordan Palmer on the stop after a pickup of 1. Pryor 14 carries, 69 yards now on the night. Palmer, really the guy the Artesians were concerned with on the defensive side. He started since a freshman year, came in, leading the team in tackles with 21 solo stops and has one right there. Again, that jet pass, and again, it's Palmer. Wraps up Hunter Stroud and drops him after a pickup of 2. So Palmer starting to flex his muscle just a little bit here. 10th carry of the night for Hunter Stroud. 10th catch of the night for Hunter Stroud, 120 yards. And get a look there, and that will end the 3rd quarter of play. Well, both teams score a touchdown here in this Mid-State Conference matchup. We will head to the 4th and final quarter from Ciderwoods Field. You're watching Martinsville Artesian football on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel and IHSAA TV.
At Home Bank, we value our communities. Homegrown. Home style. Home team. Home for the holidays. Your new home. Because at the end of the day, this is your bank. And when a bank really understands your needs, you feel at home.
Inspired by touch, by play, by listening and laughter. Inspired by family gatherings and one-on-one conversations. Inspired by long walks, long lives, and lives simply lived well. Inspired by compassion, by healing, by grace and strength. What inspires us at Franciscan Health is you. Franciscan Health, inspiring health.
3rd down for the Artesians. Hand off to Pryor. Pryor wrapped up and brought down. Nice job there by the Warriors. Can't quite get a play on who came up and made the stop. I believe, though, it was Jake Clemmy who cuts down Pryor after a pickup of 1. So let's see what Martinsville does here on a 4th down. Well, looks like they may go for it. 4th and 8 for the Artesians, but they may just hustle up, have a dummy play call here. He looks out at 20. Let's see, they signal it in, so Signals into play. Let's see what we've got here for the Artesians. Still waiting. Yeah, I think he's probably going to take the, no, my bad here. AJ rolls out. It's got a man. It's Hunter Stroud. And it's a pickup for a first down. So Stroud with a 12-yard reception. And he's really, really feeling it here tonight, as is A.J. Reynolds. On a night when you didn't know if we would be throwing the ball very much because of the wind and the rain and the wet weather, Martinsville just 13 of 16 through the air for 194 yards on the night. And really, there's only been one pass dropped. Now, Reynolds has 2 touchdowns, but he's also thrown 2 interceptions. And there's a fumble, turnover number 3 for the Artesians. So Austin Pryor puts it on the ground. That's not good for Martinsville. And the Warriors get the break they're looking for. Big hit here by the Warriors. Actually just runs into the back of his man and just loses it. And that's the wet ball we're talking about. I remember a couple of years ago that when Fred Cuttriff was the head coach here, that he talked about, we asked him how he handled the wet weather, and he said, we just had Don Lips order us a bunch of footballs. So he always had dry footballs. Well, I'm not sure how many footballs that Martinsville has here tonight, but that one got a little bit loose from Austin Pryor. Now the Artesian defense is going to have to step up here. And this time, Slate Valentine finds his way forward for pickup of about 3. So Valentine over the 100-yard mark, unofficially 18 carries, 106 yards, and a score for the Warrior standout running back. Came into the game 683 yards rushing on 108 carries. Second, we'll call it 7 now. Pickup of about 3 that time. I'm not even sure who ran it there. Actually, pickup of a little bit more. We'll give him 6. I believe it was Brandon Yates. So Yates with his 4th carry for 10 yards on the evening. So it's going to bring a 3rd and 1. Hand off, and it will be Palmer falling forward for a pickup of 2 and a first down for the Whiteland Warriors. 5 carries, 27 yards now for Palmer. $35 carries on the night for Whiteland. They came in at averaging 51 carries a game, 311 yards on the ground, and they are approaching that here with 9 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. Tyree Nolan's got some running room and then runs into his offensive lineman and goes down. Well, Nolan had some space, and then he ran into Caden Fleming and was dropped right there after a pickup of 10. So Nolan pancaked. We get another look at that here. Here we go. You'll see him getting free, and then boom, right in there to Fleming. Valentine will take it back, and he'll follow his blockers all the way forward for a pickup of 9. So Valentine, 115 yards on the night now for the Whiteland Warrior senior. And a nice pickup there by Valentine. Bring up a 2nd and 1, 8:20, still plenty of time left with the Warriors trailing by 2 scores. Said they're going to do what they do and not really change much, but it is helpful if you can get out in front of them. Palmer bullies his way forward. We'll give him 6 on the carry. and a first down for Whiteland. Noah Sumner there for the Artesian. Mason Kirkhoff, Dominic Mercer. Mercer and Sumner, 2 stars on the Artesian wrestling squad last year. Sumner making it all the way to the state. Mercer making it to the regional. Chance to do some games with his dad, Bart, and Bart was awesome on the calls, so glad he helped out. And Dominic has been fantastic thus far this season for the Artesians, as has Noah. Pick up by Valentine. They'll give him about 7 on the carry. So the workhorse Valentine starting to work here a lot more in the second half. 9 carries in the first half, already with 11 here in the second half of play, and still 7:25 left. Second and 3 now for Whiteland. The Artesians jumped out to the 20-0 lead. An A.J. Reynolds touchdown run. An A.J. Reynolds touchdown pass to Draven Sanders, and then an A.J. Reynolds touchdown pass to Hunter Stroud. Got Martinsville out in front 20-0, but then Slate Valentine answered, capping off a long drive. 17-yard touchdown run after a big pass play from Oliver Taylor to his brother Eli. And now another big third down coming up. 3rd and 1. Well, at least Martinsville has not given up the big play here tonight. That's one of their keys coming in. And you would hate for that to happen here as well. It's just going to be a quarterback sneak by Taylor, and it'll be the first time tonight that Taylor's carried it for positive yardage. He just lowers his head, picks up 3. Now at 3 carries for negative 12 yards on the night for Taylor. Looks like we've got a couple of players possibly hurt. You get a couple of looks on the Artesian on the sideline. A couple of the managers as well. Maya Lewis, Addie Ford, the Artesian managers. See Connie Eder down there. It's a great job with her photography. And now we're back to the field. You can tell that Nick Tuttero's on the camera, on the ISO camera up top. Handoff going to Slate Valentine. Look at that little jump cut in the Artesians defensive backfield. And wow, Valentine, get a look at it here. Watch him on this move right here. He goes, whoop, jump cut right by his guy, makes the defender miss, and Valentine picks up about 12 on the carry that time. 22 carries now for Valentine, 137 yards for the Whiteland Warrior senior. Again, Valentine takes his time to the outside and is run out of bounds after a pickup of about 13. So we're going to give another first down for Whiteland, 1st and goal. Martinsville with 2 timeouts left. Whiteland with 3. We'll get that corrected on the scoreboard here in just a moment. 1st and goal now for Whiteland. Jet now to Tyree Nolan, and Nolan will take it in for the touchdown from 10 yards out. Nolan on the touchdown run, and Whiteland now right back into this one, 20-13. We'll take a look here. 9 yards officially on the carry. And Nolan gets in for the score, and the Artesians 20-13 out in front now, and on for the very important extra point is Noah Pope. He's hit 1 already, 14-17 on the year. Trying to hit this one, bad snap, and it will be no good, so that's very important. It'll keep it at 7 points. So 5:20 to go in this one, and Whiteland right back into it, 20-13. So here we go. Hopefully you're enjoying this one. Whiteland right back into it. Martinsville jumped out 20-13. The Warriors 13 straight, or Martinsville jumped out 20-0. The Warriors 13 straight points. They're right back into this one after a touchdown by Tyree Nolan from 9 yards out on that fly sweep. Takes it in for the score, and now the Warriors will kick it off. They try the onside kick, and I think they got it. Let's wait and see here. Nope, Martinsville came up with it, so nice job by the Artesians. I'm not sure who got it, and I don't know if we have a replay of that or not. I want to say Quentin Simpson came up with it. He was the one celebrating, but I'm not sure if we got it or not. But as it is, the Artesians have it. 5:20 left, and you're really hearing score modes as well. Both teams have enough timeouts that you're wanting to go down and score if you can here. So let's see how Martinsville runs it. They will give it to Pryor, and Pryor wrapped up and brought down after a pickup of a couple. In on the stop, Aiden Schaefer had 12 solo tackles coming in. He was a returning starter from last year's team as well. 5 tackles for loss and 2 sacks on the season. So pickup of 2 now for Pryor. 75 yards on the night on 17 carries. And we said Martinsville still wants to approach this as if you're trying to score, but that doesn't mean that you can't slow tempo a little bit, and that's what the Artesians are doing. Taking some time, and again, it'll go to Pryor. He is met in the backfield, wrapped up, and dropped for a 2-yard loss. In on the stop that time, Javon Denson-Posey for the Whiteland Warriors. I did not see him on the 2-deep, even though he has had some tackles, but didn't know if maybe he was hurt and he came back or not. But we're ready to come back here for the big 3rd and 10. Reynolds rolling out here to the right. Had Stroud initially. A nice job by Stroud to make an adjustment, but he can't come up with the pass. Incomplete on 3rd down. It also stops the clock. And Martinsville is going to have to punt it away here for the first time tonight, and the Warriors will have it with about 4 minutes remaining. A.J. Reynolds, the Artesian punter, punted 9 times on the season, an average of 31.8 yards, a long of 67. They do also have fake punts in play, especially with A.J. as the quarterback. He looks to try to see a read and see if he needs to. This time he's just booting this away, and it's a good one. It will check up. A nice chip shot. It'll roll down and will be down by Mason Dotson at the 2-yard line. A.J. Reynolds can do it all, but now we've got some extracurricular activity going on. Penalty flags thrown, and let's let the officials sort this one out. I was looking down here to see who it was, but that's a great punt. It's a 50-yard punt. And the officials are going to discuss things here. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Whiteland, but let's see what it is. I'm not even sure what happened. I can see fans in the stands going back and looking at our replay right now to see what happened on the play. I'm not sure. So I'm going to go back and look and see if I can see what we may not even have been there to see the little extracurricular activity. We're going to watch the punt. Maybe we'll play it out. It's a great punt by A.J. Reynolds. And I don't know if maybe he just ran down there to celebrate it. But, yeah, we weren't on the actual play, and I think that's what happened. Maybe he was just celebrating his punt, or a couple of Artesians get into it. I don't want to speculate. It's off our camera, so it looks like it's offsetting penalties? No. Yes, no, offsetting penalties. That's what it's going to be, so just pick it up, put it at the 2-yard line. So the Whiteland Warriors will need to go 98 yards in 3 minutes and 54 seconds to have a chance to tie this one up, or even maybe win it with a 2-point conversion. And the Artesian defense has not given up the big play all night. They will need to be stout here. And again, Whiteland is going to do what they do. They have plenty of time, 3 timeouts, clock stopping on every first down, 3:54, plenty of time for them to do what they do, which is keep the ball on the ground with this fly offense and keep it on the ground to that man, Slate Valentine. And Valentine, tough running, hit and brought back a pickup of 2 for Valentine. 34 carries, 152 yards on the night. 24 carries, 152 yards on the night for Valentine. Has a touchdown as well. So pay attention to that clock ticking away. Second and 8 for the Warriors as they shift it once again over here to the left side. Little toss to Valentine. Martinsville does a nice job of bottling him up after a pickup of 2 once again. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 6 now for the Warriors. I would say 4-down territory. The 3 timeouts, I guess conceivably, if you don't pick it up, you could punt it. Play defense, use your timeouts, get it back. But I would guess right here, Coach Fisher is approaching it as if you have 2 plays to pick up the 5 yards. The fly motion now by Nolan. We'll bring him back. Again, they go to Valentine. He runs into his own man, and the Artesians, Mason Simzak, grabs him from behind. A pickup of 1, and it's going to bring up a big 4th and 5 for the Warriors. So here we go. And we're going to get a timeout. Timeout by who? Whiteland. So Whiteland with the timeout. That's their first. They have 2 remaining, so that obviously you're going to go for it now because you don't have a chance to be able to kick the ball away and then stop the clock enough probably to have enough time left. So looks like Whiteland will be going for it here. 4th, we will call it. 5 for the Warriors. Slate Valentine, the man coming in, averaging 27 carries on the night and 27 carries on the year per game. 170 yards a game as well. Right now, 26 carries, 155 yards for Valentine, and a score. Warriors have run it 47 times here tonight, thrown it 5. And this is where you dig into your bag of plays, that fly offense playbook, and decide, what are we going to dial up here? They'll split the backs. Palmer, Valentine. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Palmer leading the way for Valentine. And maybe also the guy in, could bring a guy in motion here to really kind of look at it as a sweep coming over here to the near side of the football field. But we'll see. Little hand signal there from Oliver Taylor to his brother Eli. They pitch the other way to Jordan Palmer. Palmer around the corner, still going, delivers a huge hit to Reese Wolf, but picks up the first down all the way to the 25-yard line. Actually, they say he steps out at the 19, so Taylor picks up about 13 on the carry. Palmer picks up 13 on the carry. 7 carry, 46 yards. Little misdirection. The clock starts up on the play. Coming this way now to Palmer. Same play, other side. And he'll be brought down. Out of bounds. Stop the clock. Pickup of, let's see where they mark him. 8 on the carry for Palmer. So 2nd and 2. Trenton Tolliver right there. Minute 54. Whiteland trails by 7. They trailed 20-0. Have scored 13 straight. They have 2 timeouts remaining, so plenty of time for Whiteland. Valentine finds a hole, still going, and is finally brought down. A pickup of 12 for Valentine. So on his 27th carry of the night, Valentine picks his way through the Artesian defense. A 1st and 10. So 148. Here we go, 1st and 10 for the Warriors. Tyree Nolan with it. Last time he touched it on that fly sweep, he went for 9 and a touchdown. This time he picks up about 6 on the carry. 4 carries, 27 yards now on the night. Clock still ticking. Wow, here we go. 2nd and about 4. Can the Artesian defense stand up here and make the stop? Can the Warriors punch it in? Valentine, nice stop by Martinsville in the backfield. A pickup of about 3 that time. And it's Noah Sumner once again on the stop. And a big 3rd and 2 now. So Valentine basically right at his averages, 28 carries, 170 yards. Again, Nolan in fly motion, and the Warriors going to the air. Taylor will tuck it under and look to run, and he will step out of bounds just shy of the 1st down. Mason Kirchhoff coming up there. No, excuse me, for the Artesians. That time it was Levi Reuter who forces these out of bounds, 1 yard short of the 1st down. So here we go, a big 4th and 1 now. 40 seconds remaining. This is it. The Artesians stop it. Game's over. Whiteland picks it up. They live for another series of downs, and Taylor will pick it up. Taylor keeps the pile moving, picks up 5. Now 5 carries, -6 yards. The clock will stop momentarily. They'll set the chains, and then they'll roll the clock here, unless somebody takes a timeout, which I believe they did. Let's see if we can get an official here. What is the timeout? I'm going to guess it's Whiteland. I'm not sure. This is going to be important for me to know who they said made the timeout call. Here we go. Timeout, Whiteland. So Whiteland has 1 timeout left, so let's reset the game here. You've got 36 seconds. Whiteland with the ball in Artesian territory at the 47-yard line. The clock will stop on every 1st down, every incomplete pass, and any time you run out of bounds. The Warriors also the 1 timeout. So really, Whiteland has some limits here of their plays going. We just lost our power as well, so wow. I think we're still going, but we're going to wait and see here as this comes up. I do not know what happened. So our camera, just keep it here. This is the worst time this can happen. Hopefully we'll get a timeout here, but this is coming up, so just keep it patient. We'll kind of keep it. We're going to do some radio play-by-play here and talk you through it here as our cameras are booting back up, so I'll talk you through this here, see what happens. Taylor under center. He turns. He gives it to Jordan Palmer. Palmer in the secondary. Driven out of bounds after a pickup of about 11. So Jordan Palmer has been the man to carry it here for the Warriors. So we're waiting for this to boot back up, and hopefully we'll get it here. We're waiting. Hopefully we'll be okay. I'm not sure what happened to our camera, so I apologize. So it is a 1st and 10 here for Whiteland. We'll keep the score going here. 30 seconds remaining. They've got the ball on the 35-yard line. In motion. The handoff again to Palmer. Palmer into the secondary, has running room, and is finally brought out of bounds. And there's going to be a penalty flag. The one thing you did not want to happen if you were Martinsville was to have a penalty flag thrown after the play, and that's what will happen. It's a 15-yard gain for Jordan Palmer. He has 10 carries, 80 yards now. You're going to tack on a 15-yard as we've got the replay. We're back here. We're going to have to wait on our replays and get that stuff loaded. So right now we're not going to be able to probably have the replays done, so just bear with us here. We'll get the play back and get this set. 25 seconds. The ball half the distance to the goal. It'll be 1st and 10 for Whiteland at the 12-yard line. The Warriors can pick up a first down. They also have a timeout. So here we go. Their workhorse on the season, not in the game. It's Jordan Palmer. In motion is Nolan, and he is brought down after a pickup of about 4 yards. So Nolan already has a touchdown here tonight. Picks up 4 yards here. So here we go. The Warriors going quick. Down to 7 seconds. Handoff. Valentine. Hit. 2 seconds. 1 second. Timeout. Wow. So here we go. There's going to be 1.3 seconds left. Whiteland has one play unless there is a penalty. And this is it. So let's reset this here. 20-13 your score. Martinsville jumped out in front. 20-0. The Warriors have answered with 2 touchdowns here in the second half. A 17-yard run by Slate Valentine. A 9-yard run by Tyree Nolan. And after a Martinsville punt on their last drive that was downed at the 2-yard line, the Warriors have driven all the way down to the Artesian 5. 1 second left. 3rd and 3. That 3 doesn't matter. It's the 5 yards to get into the end zone that's going to matter unless there's a defensive penalty. So this is going to be it. So here we go, coming up. Let's see what happens here. Warriors looking to pass. Taylor shoots it out here. He will be short. Reese Wolf with the tackle, and the Artesians will win it. Reese Wolf does a great job of reading the play. Blake Riddle catches it, and Reese Wolf makes the stop here. We'll get a look at it again. The little pass over here on the far side, and the touchdown. Saving tackle by Reese Wolf, and the Artesians will win this one here this evening over the Whiteland Warriors. 20-13, the final. Martinsville with the win. The Artesians hold on here. Reese Wolf with the huge stop on Blake Riddle at about the 1-yard line. And Martinsville comes away with the win here. 20-13, the final. Wow. Martinsville jumps out to the 20-0 lead, sees Whiteland score 13 straight, and then holds on for the victory here this evening. Real quick, some final stats here on the night for Martinsville. A.J. Reynolds, 13 of 16 unofficially with 194 yards, a couple of touchdowns, a couple of interceptions. Hunter Stroud with 11 catches for 132 yards and a touchdown. Draven Sanders a catch for 10 and a touchdown. Mason Dotson a catch for 60. Austin Pryor had 18 carries for 73 yards. Reynolds also 6 carries for 26 yards and a touchdown. Slate Valentine doing the work for Whiteland with 28 carries, 170 yards, and a touchdown. Jordan Palmer late really came on, 10 carries for 80 yards. Tyree Nolan, 5 carries, 31 yards, and a touchdown. But in the end, it's not enough for the Warriors as the Artesians defense steps up, comes up with the win. 2013, the final. Well, we had some adversity here as well on that final drive. We lost power up here. We apologize. Able to get back at the end, but unable to get that replay on that very last play very well. We apologize for that, but trust us, a good stop there at the end by the Artesians to keep the Warriors out of the end zone. And again, Martinsville wins it here tonight, 20-13. Really like to thank the crew that came in here tonight, because this was a crew that didn't have to come back. They were scheduled for Friday. They came in here, ran the game. We were a little bit shorthanded. They did a nice job bringing you the game. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Our partial broadcast normally rocking 4 cameras and such, but nonetheless, the result a good one for the Artesians. They win it 20-13, the final. This has been a student production of the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. Students in the MHS Rewind, the TV broadcasting program responsible for producing the game here this evening. All sorts of students here. Mia Boyd, Ruby Murrell, got that one right. We've got Andrew up here. We've got Lucas Edwards. We've got Mia Boyd, Isaac Gillum, Nick Tutterow, and of course the instructor Alex Enoch up here as well. So thank you to all those that came in on a Saturday night. Hopefully you enjoyed it as you're at home. Had a lot of people watching. Good news for the Artesians. They moved to 6-0 on the season. 2013, the final. So long, everyone.